more now on the sentencing of Fastow. I'm joined by Michael Wynne. He attended the Enron trials as well as today's sentencing. He's a former federal prosecutor and now an attorney with Yetter and Worden in Houston. Good to have you on the program tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There was expectation that Fastow would get 10 years. He walks away with 6 and potentially 5 if he has drug rehab and that is approved. Your reaction to the fact that Fastow got the leniency he wanted?
Well, I was there this morning, and quite frankly, I was surprised. I was expecting, with the extent of Fastow's involvement in what happened at Enron, that he would receive the full 10 years. It was clear that Judge Hoyt had very carefully weighed the various factors and purposes for our criminal punishment system, and that he mentioned several times the concept of mercy in addition to justice. And he gave Fastow a sentence of 6 years, less than I anticipated.
This was, of course, a massing fraud that brought down a company, and as we've reported, billions of dollars lost. What is this telling us going forward? What message do we take from this particular sentencing as far as how corporate fraud trials in the future, if there are any, might play out?
Well, it's several things, and it's a very, very delicate subject, because what you have here is a person who was a CFO who agreed to cooperate with the government, and the government in a position where it could not really argue for a reduction in sentence, but also couldn't argue for the maximum sentence. Unfortunately, the people who have something to say to a jury in a case like this are the people who are knee-deep in it themselves. And as I say, it's a very, very delicate issue, but they have to have some type of incentive to cooperate with the government. And this case demonstrated that that those incentive systems are in place.
June Grasso was telling us a little bit about Jeff Skilling and how this differs. How might you expect that to play out?
No, I completely agree. I get the sense that there'll be more people speaking at that particular sentencing. I was surprised to only hear 4 today. But also, Mr. Fastow, I witnessed a good bit of his testimony, has undergone a good bit of the rehabilitative process, to the extent that's part of our criminal justice system, and quite frankly has been through a lot, and has come up forward and told his own story and told his version and apologized, and the judge took that into account today. And as I say, it may be naive to consider rehabilitation a purpose of the criminal justice system, but perhaps today we really saw it play out.
So justice has been served then?
A 6-year sentence is a significant sentence. As a prosecutor, I had an opportunity to visit federal prisons, and it's not a pleasant place whichever prison he's assigned to. No, it's a deprivation of freedom. And the judge said today that there is no way that Andy Fastow was ever going to be able to make it up to the various people that he hurt. This is just the system that we have in place to try really to do the best we can. And 6 years, the judge determined, was appropriate in this case to punish and also to deter other people from doing what Andy Fastow did.
Well, that's my next question as far as how much of a deterrent it will be. 6 years compared to what he could have received, of course, doesn't sound so bad.
No, the judge did also mention, in addressing deterrence specifically, that anyone else out there surveying the scene and considering what happened has to really take this into account in their future conduct. And I think that's the case. 6 years for somebody in that position is a significant amount of time. It's not for me to say whether justice in the abstract is served or not, but okay, I believe it's a fair sentence.
Michael Wynne will end it there of Yetter and Worden. Thanks for being with me.